we just go from strength to strength. We raised over £10,000 last year, and in total we've raised over £200,000. So, we can't stop, but, £10,000 towards research is a huge amount of money and will make a great difference.
I mean, we've spoken as well about how this is something that you're extremely passionate about because it is personal for you. Could you tell us a little bit about why this is so important for you personally?
Yeah, well, in 2002, I was diagnosed with breast cancer. I just turned 40. I had 3 young children at home, and it was a massive shock. And it didn't seem to be all those years ago that we were hearing of many women under 40 or under 50, in fact, having breast cancer. It's always seemed to be an older person's disease, but not any longer. And now we hear of women in their 30s and sadly even 20s being diagnosed with breast cancer. So I wanted to join the group after I got better and had all my treatment, and I wanted to join a breast cancer charity. And this one came to me because they were studying research and funding research. And it was so important, I felt, that I survived because I had excellent treatment and excellent care.
What you mentioned shock, but what is the worry? What's the sort of gut moment when you do find out something like that? Because it's something we all hope won't happen.
Of course. Well, am I going to survive? I have children. I have a loving family. Will I see my children grow up? Anyone who says that they never worried about it and they were absolutely fine, well, that's great, but I know I did, and I know many people do worry. But there's so much treatment out there today, and specific targeted treatment to different types of breast cancer, because there's over 20 different types of breast cancer, which is why it makes all the harder for the research.
And when it comes to the support you've received, you've obviously had great support and you feel very well supported. What's your advice for anyone going through that at the moment?
Well, of course, I think everybody needs to, all women and men even, needs to do the touch, look, check, hands-on. So you need to do the touch, look and check off your breasts regularly. So at least monthly, where you give yourself a really good examination. And we have certain... So we have certain points that you need to go through. Can you feel a lump either in the breast, upper chest or the armpits? Is there a lumpy area or unusual thickening of the breast tissue that doesn't go away? Is there any unusual pain either in part of the breast or in the armpit? And then look at yourself in the mirror. Is there any change in size or shape? Does one breast look larger or lower than the other? Any change in skin texture, puckering or dimpling of the skin of the breast? Any change in colour? The breast may look red or inflamed. What about the appearance or direction of the nipple? One might become inverted, turned in, when it normally points out. Any unusual discharge? One or both nipples might have a discharge. Any rash or crusting of the nipple or surrounding area? And check. If anything is unusual to you, get it checked out by your doctor immediately. Don't hold back. Ask a friend or a member of your family to go with you to give you support.
We talk a lot about, unusual changes. It's usually a change or unusual pain, unusual activity almost around your breasts. I mean, what's unusual? Because people will experience some pain sometimes with the changing of hormones and things like that. How can they be aware that what's not normal for the human body and what's not?
Well, of course, every person's different and everybody's breasts are different. So you need to try and understand what's different for you. So at certain times of the month, it can be your breasts can feel and look quite different to other times of the month, and you need to be aware of that. What is different for you than it is normally for the other 3 weeks of the month, maybe. And of course, men as well can get breast cancer, so they need to be checking themselves for any unusual lumps. But of course, Alex, not all lumps are breast cancer.
And it's the stigma as well around it. We're talking about something quite sensitive. Some people might think, oh, I don't really want to talk about that. That's not very pleasant to hear. But is it the talking about it that's actually going to save people's lives at the end of the day?
Yes, it most definitely is. And I think, as the years have gone on, even in the 17 years since my diagnosis, people are talking about it more. In those days, it was very hush-hush and nobody mentioned the big C word. But we're so much better about talking to our colleagues and finding out information. The internet, family and friends are great support. I think it really does help and spread the word. We need to be raising awareness of breast cancer.
And do feel free to jump in as well, by the way. I don't want you to feel like you can't talk.
It's all right. I have a sister who found a lump, and she had a lumpectomy. She didn't have to have a mastectomy, and she's on treatment. But I haven't got the experience Angie's got, so she's probably better talking to you. And my sister's in Australia, so I can't even talk to her about it that much.
I mean, but that is interesting as well, though, because it's not just for the people that have found a lump or the people that have had breast cancer or any kind of surgery. It's those people that know somebody. And of course, most people will know somebody these days, won't they?
We sometimes forget that there's husbands, brothers, wives, sisters, mothers. There's that whole family thing, and it's a terrible shock to them as well. And what must be going through their minds? And it's about having that support for them as well as for the person who's actually going through it, and that's also very, very important.
We spoke about what goes through the mind of the person going through it, but as a family member, what went through your mind?
The first thing when my sister told me was shock, as Angie says. Oh my goodness, what's going to happen? What's going to happen? But my sister has actually come through it very well, and she has regular checkups now, and she was clear of her last one. But there's still always that thought at the back of your mind every time she goes for a checkup. But the same thoughts go through as a person going through it. What about your family? What about the people around you? What's going to happen ultimately? And unfortunately, the C word still conjures up pictures of death. And that's what we want to get over to people, that it's not a death sentence anymore. There's so much now that can be done for all cancers, and there are so many survivors now that's what we need to be focusing on.
Well, let's just talk about the Bra Dash then, of course, because this is a really funny event, if nothing else. Taking that sort of light-hearted approach, is that one way you can destigmatise and get more people talking about it?
Yes, absolutely. It's raising awareness, Pop a bra on. Most people wear it over a T-shirt. We do have some very game ladies who will run around the streets in their bra, so they're very brave.
Not you then?
No, not me, definitely. So, but no, you can just pop a bra on over your T-shirt and come on out. But we have some fantastic costumes as well, don't we, Lindsay?
Oh, we have some amazing costumes that people turn up in. But it doesn't have to be a costume. It doesn't matter if you just turn up with nothing other than the clothes you're standing up in. Just take part and come and cheer the people along. But obviously, if you can get dressed up, it makes it more fun. We have those fantastic ladies in Douglas, don't we? Is it about 5 years they've been doing it now?
Oh,
and we've had the Daleks,
the Bralets,
the Barbie dolls.
Dolls.
They come up with the most ingenious.
And I've seen this year's.
Oh,
I've
have
seen
you
this
seen
year's,
it?
which is fantastic.
Yeah.
We always look
I'm
forward
trying
to
to
it.
do something at the moment for Beth Espy and my grandchildren, but I'm still in the process of trying to get it all together at the moment, so I'm keeping my fingers crossed for
We
Sunday.
are a bit lastminute.com, aren't we?
Yeah. But
the comparison website travel agents are available.
Yeah. This one I've got on now, I've literally used a load of buttons out my button box and some felt and just cut a pattern out that I found on the internet. But you can use glue guns or sparkly bits. You don't have to be a sewer. There's so many. If you go in the little crafty shops, there's so many bits and pieces now that you can just stick on, and just go and buy a bra from the charity shop.
But we will also have a a bag of
We always have a bag of bras.
spare bras at the
and
dash.
and,
so
and a
turn up.
whole banner of bras, don't we?
We do.
Yeah.
We do.
So you can't miss us.
And of course, at the end of the day, this is all about raising money as well as awareness. So you said £10,000 last year. Are you hoping to surpass that this year?
It would be fantastic if we just sneaked past it this year. So, you know, if everybody could pop a couple of coins in the bucket, we'd be delighted. There are sponsor forms, and that's on our website, bra-im. And you can get all the details of where the dashes start, what time they start, and in which area and which day. So that's on bra-im.
And also, it's a dash. It's not a run. It's not a marathon, is it? It's meant to be doable.
It is. We do have some very fast dashes, and we have some great prizes as well, which are sponsored by Lloyds Bank International, which we are delighted with. And we also have ShopRite supporting us, and of course yourselves, Manx Radio, supporting us, for which we're very grateful. But our prizes are £50 for the best team. That's the best turned out team, and that needs to be of 4 people or more. We have £25 for the fastest dasher, £25 for the best dressed individual, and £10 for the best child.
And how far is it?
It's they vary slightly, but the Douglas one is about a mile. The Castletown one's probably something similar. Ramsey as well. Ramsey's tends to be a nice stroll, a nice walk.
I might consider that then.
Peel is literally up and down the length of the prom, but there are some of the people who take part actually go off and go to the cafe by the castle, and they go up the other end and get all the people in the pubs for us as well. So, but generally it's just along the prom, and it's all very safe.
They come to Peel and have an ice cream and take part in the dash, don't they? And round off their Father's Day.